What's going on, guys? This is Real Deal Fantasy HQ with your boy LQ, back in for another great episode. Today's episode is Stardom, Sid'em, Week 11, people. Playoffs are around the corner. We need to be set up for success, have the tools and resources to have the guys that need to step up and show out. And, of course, there's the guys who are going to shit the bed, who are going to hurt you. We're going to basically make you lose the week because they're just going to suck. So I'm here to tell you who to start and who to sit. So I don't want to waste any more time. So let's get right into the episode. So first up, Stardom Sid'em Week 11. The first guy I got is Logan Thomas, people. Tight end 16 right now. Might not look too appealing on paper of what he's been giving us, but for the last 4 weeks, 3 out of those 4 games, he's given us double-digit points. So I do like the upside of, Alex Smith being the starting quarterback moving on for the rest of the season. It does give him that immediate level up that we needed. So he's actually in the arena where he's being targeted just as much as a TJ Hawkinson, Hayden Hurst, Jimmy Graham, guys like that. Just a few guys to name. So I definitely like the volume is still there. Volume is key. Remember that. So he's seeing the targets, he's seeing the opportunities. 51 targets so far this season, and only 38 of those targets were catchable, and he's caught 28 balls. So therefore, the blame is not totally on Thomas. It's the QB play, the constant QB change. Went from Haskins, Kyle Allen, and now Alex Smith. This is the level up that Logan Thomas needed. So I do look forward to him being great against the Bengals this week, who are giving up the second most fantasy points against tight ends. So Logan Thomas is definitely a full send, people. I don't see any other matchup where we can have, Logan Thomas be better. I mean, second fewest points against tight ends. I definitely want to full send it this week with Logan Thomas. So next up, we have Kalen Ballage against the Jets this week. A semi-revenge game, I guess you could say. He was only there for a short period of time, but Adam Cantor Gates is why this is a revenge game, people. Damn, man, I'm tripping up on my words like crazy. But anyway, this is why it's a revenge game for a simple fact. The last 2 weeks, we've seen a lot out of Kalen Ballage. We've seen a snap opportunity increase. We officially seen him named as the starting running back, will play a major role in this week's game against the Jets. I definitely like he has 200 yards from scrimmage the last 2 weeks. In the last back-to-back weeks, he's given us 15 fantasy points. And he's also seeing a lot of targets out of the backfield, people. So, again, volume is key. He's getting it done on the ground between about 14 to 16 carries per game and then about 4 to 5 targets out of the backfield, which I do like. And I definitely like he was able to find the end zone, having 1 touchdown in the last 2 weeks. Didn't see the end zone last week, but he still managed to give us something that we could deal with, something that's serviceable. A lot of people had him on the bench, of course, for these last 2 weeks. So this will be the matchup where he fits perfectly in your flex position or RB3 position. Not looking for too much out of Kalen Ballage, but if he gives me another 15 to 20 points, hey, I'll take it. You know what I mean? Because what's the price for Kalen Ballage? Let's be honest. A waiver wire priority, you know what I mean? Not that much of a priority, actually, because some people didn't believe in him. Some people thought he sucked. But, again, people who leave Adam Gates' grip, they actually perform very well on other teams. So he's finally getting his shot. He's finally getting his opportunity to show that he's a great NFL starter, a great NFL running back, or a guy that's just great at football. So I definitely like this matchup against the Jets, who've given up so far 12 rushing touchdowns. That's top half of the league of giving up rushing touchdowns. So that's definitely a possibility that the Chargers make it downfield. Goal line duty, of course, Kalen Ballage will get the first crack at it. Boom, he finds the end zone, and he's giving you fantasy-relevant points this week. So I definitely love the matchup. I definitely love the situation he's in right now to be the starting running back who has that opportunity to show up and show out. So book it, buy it, bring home the gold, people. Next up, I got Jared Cook. Yes, I know. Winston is the starter. Mr. Interception, Mr. INT, 30 for 30, whatever you want to call him. Winston is the starter, but I definitely think Winston has a great matchup against Atlanta where Jared Cook can become a very serviceable, at least a top 12 tight end this week where he can put up fantasy-relevant points. He hasn't found the end zone recently, but I think this matchup here against Atlanta, because we all know Winston is going to air the ball out. We know he's able to spread the ball around. He's able to throw the ball. He's not a bad quarterback. He just makes poor decisions. That's why he was 30 for 30. But again, 33 touchdowns to 30 interceptions. Hey, he still had more touchdowns than interceptions. So he's liable to throw touchdowns, people. So Atlanta, they're allowing 410 yards per game And that's something that I like Winston to be in a situation with, where he can air the ball out and my guys can make, plays. They can find the end zone. They can put up relevant fantasy points. Michael Thomas might have himself a day. You know what I mean? And also Jared Cook is definitely on that, pedestal where he can have a day as well. So it's not like he's anything to be slept on. He saw 10 targets in the red zone so far with Drew Brees, and those opportunities came where he has 3 touchdowns on the season. So maybe we can get this going. Maybe Winston can get something flowing, some chemistry, some rapport with Jared Cook, and we can have Jared Cook as a low-end tight end 1 this week. But I definitely do like the matchup. It's a full send against Atlanta. I think any matchup against Atlanta, Dallas, or Houston, you just have to play these guys. They're going to put up big points. So, again, that big 410 yards per game is something that Atlanta has been doing this season. I can't shy away from any offensive player, for the Saints this week for, big points. So Jared Cook gets a full send this week, people. So let's jump into the sit-em, people. First up, I got Leonard Fournette, man, going against my Rams. The Rams are going to bring that defense. They're going to pack the defense. It's a very tough matchup for Leonard Fournette. I almost want to put Ronald Jones into this, but I think you kind of get the idea. They are a package deal. We just seen Ronald Jones go off last week. He's actually top 5 running backs right now when it comes to yardage. So I can't say nothing bad about him. Bruce Arians is sticking with his guns. He likes Ronald Jones. He wants Ronald Jones to be the guy. He wants him to be the 1A, Leonard Fournette be the 1B, even though the 1B sometimes outperforms the 1A. It is what it is. But this matchup is not a great matchup for Leonard Fournette. Him facing the Rams this week, who are only allowing 96 yards per game, people, is not helping his case to find his way into starting lineups. This is not the game where I want Leonard Fournette anywhere near, my starting lineup, not even my flex position or RB3 position. There's other options. The Rams are top 5 in both categories against the pass, against the rush. They're overall a top 5 defense, people. This is a very tough game, people. This is going to be a tough game for my Rams too, but Leonard Fournette, this is not the week that I'm pushing for him to go into lineups to try to outplay Ronald Jones, to shut all the Rojo, believers and hype trains down. This isn't the week to try to pull that off, because we've seen it done before. We've seen Leonard Fournette outperform Ronald Jones, even though he's the 1A. But this wouldn't be the week. This was not the week that I want any parts of any Tampa Bay running back going against my Rams this week. So Leonard Fournette, he gets the bench. Next up, I got Melvin Gordon, man. Oh, my God. What a disappointment. Last time we seen any fantasy relevant points from Melvin Gordon has been week 4 against the Jets, when he put up 21 fantasy points, depending on your format, of course. He has not been anything but underwhelming, people, since we, got into thinking that Melvin Gordon's going to be a RB2 or even an RB1 some weeks, with, Philip Lindsay dealing with an injury or him just winning the job. Boy, were we fooled. Since week 4, we haven't seen anything relevant from Melvin Gordon. It's been nothing but ever underwhelming. And the performance that he did last week, the week before that, I could have left him on my bench for that. I got to admit, I did start him. But again, Phil Lindsay coming in, being underwhelming as well. I think overall, it's just the Broncos offense right now. Drew Lock is a little banged up. The offense isn't looking too great. So most of the time, they're playing from behind. So they can't really get a chance to run the ball to get the game in rhythm. But again, they got Miami this week. This is another tough defense. And I don't think Melvin Gordon or Philip Lindsay can catch a break. I definitely was thinking, maybe I try to trade Melvin Gordon, but I don't think anybody's going to bite on him right now. So it's kind of hard to get rid of him. So you kind of just got to eat the shit sandwich and deal with him for now. I wouldn't say drop him. He could have a week here or there, injuries, COVID, etc. I wouldn't go dropping a guy like Melvin Gordon just yet. But again, he's getting the bench this week facing Miami, who's been a stud defense. They've been showing up and showing out. They've been playing, top teams, tough against my Rams, I can say. They played us pretty tough and they beat us. So therefore, it's 2 a time, people. So again, this isn't the matchup. They most likely will be playing from behind. So, game script, the run game might not exist. So Melvin Gordon, you get the bench. Next up, Ryan Tannehill against the Baltimore Ravens, man. This is going to be a very tough matchup for Tannehill. He gets the bench, only a simple fact that the Ryan Tannehill struggle tour is not over, people. He has another week of tough defenses. Back-to-back weeks, he put up like 18 points, which is very underwhelming for Ryan Tannehill. When we've seen him put up 28 points, 26 points, et cetera, 30 points plus, whatever. He's going through a struggle tour right now where he has the Ravens, which is a top 5 defense also, and it's a very stud defense where I don't see Ryan Tannehill being very relevant this week. definitely gets the bench for the simple fact the Baltimore Ravens are going to probably, stack that box, try to take down Henry, and then force Tannehill to throw the ball, and then that's where the interceptions and poor decisions come into play. I don't see, the Titans winning this week. If they do win, I'll be very amazed. I will be very shocked that Lamar Jackson can't get the job done. But again, we shall see. This isn't the week that Ryan Tannehill gets the starter, the starting position. And I definitely think you need to look elsewhere if you can, if you have that option. If you're in like a super flex league, then okay, fine, whatever. But if you're in like a 1 QB league like I'm in, I don't think Ryan Tannehill, should get the start this week. He might end up burning you. He might get less than 18 points. He might, put up 15 points, and you could have left him on the bench for that. So whoever you got, on the stash, or if you're going to look to stream somebody, just know that Ryan Tannehill is not your guy this week. So Tannehill, you got to get the bench. So this wraps up this week 11. Start 'em, sit 'em. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Leave your start and sit questions down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And I want to thank you guys again for coming by, showing love. Make sure you like and subscribe for your boys so I can keep doing the things that I do, so you can guys let me know how I'm doing. But I'll see you guys next week for another great episode of Real Deal Fantasy HQ with your boy LQ. Peace.